Alright, last step. We're going to write equations of hyperbolas. So I would call these the backwards problems again. Now remember, hyperbolas have a minus sign. So our a squared will always be the first one. So the h, or the x and the y are the things that can switch in a hyperbola. So we need three things. We need the a squared, we need the b squared, and we need the center, hk. So given the information, find the equation of a hyperbola. Alright, so find the equation of the hyperbola with the endpoints of the transverse axis. So the transverse axis, we remember, is the important one. That's the one that the vertices are on. So if we sketch that, we would know that at 2, 0, there's a vertice, and at -2, 0, there's a vertice. So just from that information, we should be able to tell that the center of this hyperbola is 0, 0, the midpoint of the transverse axis. Other things we can tell. We always know that the distance from the center out to that endpoint is a. So in this problem, a is equal to 2. We need to know what a squared is, so that would be 4. Other information just from that. We know the direction of the hyperbola. Now remember, these are the vertices, so that means that the hyperbola would attach on this way, so we know it's horizontal. And if it's horizontal, that means the x needs to go over the a squared. So the only thing left that we need, because we have the center, hk, we've got the a squared, we need the direction, now we need the b squared. Well, we didn't use this part. The conjugate axis, we know, is always going to give us our b number. So our conjugate axis is 0, 3, and 0, -3, and we know that that distance from the center out is b, so b equals 3, b squared equals 9. So put all your information together. The center's 0, 0, and x goes first because it goes over a. So it's x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared equals 1. And that would be the equation of the hyperbola. So it's very similar to ellipses. We'll try one more and then we'll work on some in class. Find the equation of the hyperbola with vertices 0, -2, and 6, -2. Now remember, vertices are on the transverse axis, so we should be able to get a from that. We also should be able to get the direction from that. So a little sketch might help. 0, -2, and 6, -2. Those are your vertices, so we know this direction must be horizontal. Tells us that the x goes over the a squared. Now what else can we tell? We should be able to tell the center again. The center should be the midpoint of this. So this is at 0 and this is at 6, so I'm going to say at 3, -2 should be the center. So if that distance from the center out to the vertice is 3 units, so a must be equal to 3, or a squared is equal to 9. Now we've got the direction, we've got the a squared, and we've got the hk. What we need is the b. But they talk about the foci. So we need to be thinking foci, they're giving us C because that's what the foci are. Well, this are the foci points. So think about it. Here's your center, and the foci is at 3 plus √13 -2, and 3 minus √13 -2. So from doing all of the problems the other way, we know that the distance out to the foci is C, and what is it that they added to it and subtracted from it? We would say that C has to be root 13. So c squared has to be 13. Now we need to remember our equation. I'm sorry, I put those foci in the wrong spot. Let me fix that. The foci are outside here and outside here because they need to be in the parabolas. So that's a bigger distance, but it's still c, and it's still 13. I just didn't draw them far enough away because they need to be inside these parabolas that we drew. Alright, so we need to have our equation. Well, which is longer, a, b, or c? We know that c must be the longest distance. So it has to be a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Well, we decided that a squared was 9. We're looking for b squared, and c squared is 13. So if we subtract 9, we get b squared equals 4, and that's what we need. So we got b squared, we've got a squared, we've got the center, and we have the direction. We should be able to write the answer. We want the x over the a, so the x goes first. X minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k, but it's negative 2, so that's plus 2 squared over b squared equals 1. And that's your solution.